Good morning, everybody. It is January 30th, 2018, 6:48 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, so this video is it's going to be a quick one. I know I always say that, and it being 20 minutes, but I'm going to try here because I have to work this morning. This is primarily about Cyclone Cebiile and Tropical Cyclone Fehi out in the Indian Ocean and the Southern Pacific Ocean. But really quick, for those of you in the Northeast dealing with Winter Storm Kalani, this is the end of it as far as states like Pennsylvania and Southern New York. Now, if you look closely, this is actually two different systems. This one system here was actually a tropical system that moved up the east coast, and then it met with the actual snowstorm of Winter Storm Kalani, which is causing the lake effect issues. I know western Michigan last night got about 10 inches of snow as it moved west to east. Before hitting the Great Lakes, and now we are seeing lake effect snow, just like in the areas we talked about: Watertown, Buffalo, Erie, Pennsylvania. Harrisburg, Pennsylvania right now is currently getting snow, and that's going to be moving west to east. So you can expect northeast Pennsylvania and then the southeastern areas of New York to get snow from this. I'm not exactly sure the amounts. I know there are low amounts and then there are higher amounts in higher elevations. So I wanted to get more info out about this winter storm. It's just been a little hard for me traveling back and forth from different parts of the states in New York and Pennsylvania. So I will have an update on that, but this video is primarily about the cyclones going on in the South Indian Ocean and the Southern Pacific. Really quick, this is our current jet stream, so you can kind of get an idea of why this is pushing in a deep U and moving so quickly up the coast. These are high altitude winds, guys. These are 120 miles an hour, 140. This is up around 40,000 feet. So you can get an idea of why the jet stream winds are what steers these storms, including hurricanes. So we will be getting into hurricane season officially in June. Me and some of my buddies down in the comment section believe it will start a lot sooner than that. This map here, once again, thank you Norway Mapping. This is very useful. This is a current map of the globe, basically, in a flat picture, I guess you can call it. Sorry, it is early for me. I'm still waking up. But these are basically the red zones of where you can expect cyclones to form. Now remember, the Indian Ocean and the South Pacific, whenever there is formation of one of these storms, they are called cyclones and not hurricanes. They are the exact same thing. Cyclones, hurricanes, typhoons, all the same thing. Just depends on where in the world they happen. So you can clearly see here we have Cebiile, which is doing its thing out in the middle of the Indian Ocean. It does make a close approach to the southwestern part of Australia. Now, it doesn't look like it's going to hit any of these areas. It looks like it's going to just dip under Western Australia. And then there is a, Geograph Bay is in this area, where if you could see my mouse, right around here. So it looks like the storm is making a left hook, and then it's coming down this way, and then it gets wiped out. Now, my concern is still, actually we'll go back to that in 1 second. My main concern is still what is going on with Fehi here. This is Tropical Cyclone Fehi. I believe it's been downgraded. So basically, this is Australia. Here is Cebiile. Let me hit play here. We can see exactly where they project Cebiile to be moving. And you can see right under, it makes kind of like that left hook, and then it comes back down and under, and then as it starts moving west to east, that's when it becomes an issue for the bottom part here of Australia. So we're just going to have to watch and see what happens there. That's going to be happening over the next few days, but certainly a significant cyclone. I believe it reached a Category 4 if you would compare it to a hurricane strength in the Atlantic Ocean. Very good definition. And there it goes, passing right underneath the west coast, southwest coast rather, of Australia. Now again, because that is not really affecting much land, and it is a strong cyclone, my main concern is this here, the other side of Australia, where we have New Caledonia, and then we have New Zealand, which regardless is going to get hit by this storm, whether it's a tropical cyclone, or just a storm itself. I'm going to back up here a little bit. and you can see where it began. This is basically where it formed, was just above New Caledonia. It passed over, did a little bit of damage in the coastal areas. There was flooding and whatnot, but because New Zealand is an island, guys, this storm is still bigger than the actual island itself. So we can take a look at this moving forward here. This is currently right now, and then you can see whether or not this thing stays a cyclone or not. It is going to pass right over New Zealand. It is the exact size of it, if not bigger. So those of you in New Zealand, get prepared for this storm. This is going to be an issue for a lot of the coast. I know there are areas or people in the comment section that saying they're used to this type of stuff, but still, this is not a pretty sight. I'm going to keep an eye on this too. Again, I am in sort of a rush this morning. I know I'm sure you guys are tired of hearing that, but I try to wake up as early as possible so I can get these videos out to you in the morning. This is the Tropical Tidbits updated version of current storms. Again, here is CYCLONE. Very good definition in this storm. You can see we have an eye wall forming, and it is moving east to west at the moment, but then it's projected to dip down and then move underneath Australia. So you can see it there. Get this one out of the way. This is Fehi. You can see there is still rotation going on with Fehi. That line you see passing over is the light to dark, so it is becoming dark now in this area of the world. So we're just going to have to keep an eye on this, guys. It's going to take another day or two for it to reach down towards New Zealand, but it just finished passing over New Caledonia, which is right in this area. So we're going to keep an eye on this. It may reform, or it could get weaker. We just don't know yet. It all depends on what's going on in the atmosphere at the time. So I will keep an eye on it. I will be watching the storm. And then we have, okay, so there's CYCLONE. We have Fehi 08P, which you can see here. The projection models show it going right over New Zealand and then continuing its path west to east across the bottom of the southern Pacific Ocean. Now we do have an invest also in Australia itself, which is causing some issues. Again, my main concern is if this is going to make it all the way north to south over Australia and then reform down in this area and then causing effects in southern Australia. But usually once these storms hit this area, they just get whipped underneath down by Antarctica and usually become non-issues. And then we have 95P invest, which is kind of forming and then non-forming. So we're just, again, another thing we're going to keep an eye on. But those are our 4 storms going on right now in our cyclone season in the Indian, South Indian, and South Pacific Oceans. Again, we'll check out this. I just want to play this one real quick again, or this one rather. For those of you that live in New Zealand, this is what you're going to be dealing with. So again, guys, if this is not a cyclone, it doesn't matter. This is a big storm. The size of New Zealand itself, it's going to whip over quick. Lots of wind, lots of surf issues, flooding, you name it. Just like hurricane season in the Atlantic Ocean, which is about 120 days away, 122 days away. All right, guys, I'm sorry I had to be so quick today, but that is what happens when you have a job that you don't want to go to. Anyway, guys, I love being here for you. I love these videos. I'm going to continue to do this every single day, especially for those of you in New Zealand until this Fehi storm passes. That's all I got for you today, guys, and I will be back this afternoon once I'm off work, and we will talk about Winter Storm Kalani, which is currently passing over the Great Lakes and the Northeast. All right, guys, take care. I'll talk to you very soon.